Hi everyone, I'm Claire and welcome to this session where we'll be taking a look at how we can harness the power of imagery in the cloud. Today I'll use this story map together with a demonstration to explore what ArcGIS Image is, and I'll introduce ArcGIS Image for ArcGIS Online. We'll take a look at how we can use this new capability to analyse imagery monitoring vegetation health before and after the Saddleworth Moor wildfire. So let's get started. ArcGIS Image encapsulates the overall offering for imagery, from our desktop applications to enterprise, with Image Server enabling users to store and analyse data on an enterprise deployment. The new capability for ArcGIS Image coming later this year is ArcGIS Image for ArcGIS Online, which brings many of these imagery capabilities to the cloud. In a nutshell, ArcGIS Image Online is a new software as a service capability. It brings hosted imagery along with visualization and raster analysis to the cloud. Users can upload imagery and raster data and then access this content for visualization or analysis. And with imagery and results stored in ArcGIS Online, access to these items are available across an organization. Imagery and raster data can be analysed in the cloud with on-the-fly visualizations, raster analysis tools, or with access to 153 raster functions. ArcGIS Image Online provides another option for hosted imagery with no requirement for in-house infrastructure or maintenance. So let's take a look at how we might use this in practice. Wildfires are becoming more prevalent in the UK, and we can use drone and satellite imagery to monitor vegetation loss and health. Saddleworth Moor is one of the UK's largest wildfires, which broke in June 2018. Here we have an image from the day before the fire, and when compared to just 7 days later, we can already begin to see changes in the vegetation from the imagery alone. However, what this doesn't tell us is to what extent vegetation health has deteriorated. We can head over to ArcGIS Online now to see how we can use ArcGIS Image Online to support this analysis. With an ArcGIS Image Online user extension, we can now create imagery layers right here in ArcGIS Online. For this analysis, I'm using high-resolution satellite imagery that I have stored locally. These can now be hosted as tiled imagery layers that provide imagery access as static tiles and associated metadata, or as dynamic imagery layers that provide versatile dynamic imagery access capabilities. Today, I'll go ahead and select Dynamic Imagery Layer so that we can make use of on-the-fly processing. Here on the interface, users can select the layer configuration from one of 4 options. One image, which uses a single processed image to create one layer, or one mosaic image that mosaics multiple images into a single dataset to create one layer. Additionally, we also have an image collection that manages a collection of images using a single layer. And finally, multiple imagery layers that creates one layer for each output image. Today, I'm going to select one mosaic image. Next, we can choose the data type required. And we can configure any additional properties, such as a processing template or a spatial reference. We can browse for data, or we can drag and drop imagery files and their metadata here. Next, we can give our layer a title and some tags, and we can create. Once the data is uploaded, we can then begin to add it to our map. As we start to think about analysis, we have a few options available to us. We can use the raster analysis tools here, which include tools for uncovering patterns, managing our data, or even deep learning tools for classifying objects, amongst others. We can use the Monitor Vegetation tool here to determine vegetation health using NDVI. But we could also achieve this by changing the band combination on the fly. Again, using NDVI, symbolised from green to red, where green is healthy vegetation here before the fire, and then we compare this to vegetation health after the fire, we can see the extent of the fire more clearly and begin to gain some further understanding of vegetation loss. To quantify this further, we'll continue our analysis by applying a raster function template. ArcGIS Online provides 153 raster functions out of the box that can be chained together to create a more complex model. These raster function templates can be shared and used across desktop, enterprise, and now ArcGIS Online. So let's take a look at our raster function template here. Using both images from before and after the fire, together with NDVI and the compute change raster function, I've applied a remap and an attribute table function. This reclassifies changes in vegetation from no change to severe loss. And once this template is created, we can then use it as a custom analysis tool. And all we have to do now is click Run Analysis. The result of this analysis now clearly defines the extent of vegetation loss, where no change is green and severe change is purple. And used together with more images over time, this could help us to monitor changing environments and the effects of natural disasters on our landscapes. So let's wrap things up. Today we've seen how we can use ArcGIS Image Online to host, serve, and analyse imagery in a software as a service environment. We were able to explore the vegetation health and loss as a result of the Saddleworth Muir fire and quantify the changes between imagery. With ArcGIS Online, we can share our imagery and analysis results across our organisation and use them in our web maps, web apps and more, including the story map that I created for today's session. I hope this has inspired you to get the most out of your imagery and discover more about ArcGIS Image for ArcGIS Online.